What's going on, everybody? Eric Lindquist at Stokastic here on the Odd Chopper channel, coming to you with another edition of Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks MLB. Hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell. Goes a long way for me on this video. Goes a long way for you. That way you become a prize whenever great content is going live here at our little neck of the YouTube woods. Wednesday was awesome. We hit every lock across the board. Had a lot of really good things happen. It's been weird where the home runs, we had them in bulk, hitting plus 300, plus 400, plus 600. Kind of been on a dry spell this week, but I will take the money line plays, the bigger plays. I will take the overs and the unders that we've been hitting a little bit more with a little bit more frequency here. Hopefully tonight. I didn't have any plays on the first two games, so the other five just kind of getting going right now as we speak. So we'll see how it tallies up at the end of the night. And then, of course, the NBA streets covered 3 games for Thursday, also covering 3 games for Friday. So be sure to check that out also here on the Odd Chopper channel. Bet365, check that out if you're in one of these 4 great states: Colorado, New Jersey, Ohio, Virginia, because you only have to bet $1 to get $200 in bet credits. You don't even need to win that $1 bet. Not that you wouldn't put $1 in a vending machine and get $200 in bet credits, not be happy about that. So sign up for that in the link below. Make sure you let them know Lindy sent you. That'd be great. Or you don't have to, because you just sign up for 2 minutes. Bet $1, get $200 in bet credits. I care about you. And again, only available in 4 states as of right now: New Jersey, Ohio, Virginia, and Colorado. Soon to be in Iowa, Pennsylvania, and then hopefully a lot of other states coming up here soon. But we have another sponsor that's joined the fray. And if you watched yesterday's program, you know what I'm talking about. Otherwise, you're going to be in for a rude awakening. Going to be a fun sponsor to talk about. But we got a ton of baseball, 15 games on Friday, every team in play. Whew, we've had 3 of those this week. So without further ado, let's get to the picks. Dodgers and Cubs got off to a later start. There was some rain. There were some things occurring in the world. Is what it is, but 2 really interesting southpaws on the mound here. Interesting is the right word. Julio Urias is very, very good at throwing of the baseballs, and Drew Smyly has shown a lot of improvement. We'll talk about him in a second, but starting with Urias, you've seen him for a while. It's always been a pitch count question. The Dodgers, they've always had the handcuffs on some of these starters, turned it over to their bullpen. Well, Urias, 1.90 ERA, 3-1 record, 1.01 whip, continuing to be awesome at the pitching of baseballs. He's had 6 Ks in all 4 starts. The one thing that I do have on my card here is that this will be back-to-back starts against the Cubbies. And these Cubbies have been showing out in a real prominent way, even in the more difficult spots here. And this is a massive total yet again because wind expected to be blowing out. But because of the quality of these pitchers, a lot different than we saw for the 10.5 that we opened with yesterday as a lock. And unfortunately, I had to tear up my card because Jameson Taillon didn't end up starting, got put on the IL. And then when they recalibrated with the new line, he was 11.5. It was such a bummer. So as much as I wanted to lock this and was super excited about this game, well, we kind of ran into a chainsaw there. Maybe Michael Grove gives up a ton of runs here. But again, it just sucks sometimes because you need the starters to match up. Otherwise, books would never put these out, and it would be a huge headache for everybody. Actually, it'd be great for us. We would probably take advantage of it. That's why they're not doing it. But Drew Smyly, you've seen him with a couple of different teams in the past, and this is an interesting spot where he has a 4.70 ERA, 1.30 whip. But the advanced metrics, we're talking StatCast data, looking really good. That sinker is sinking. He's got 84.2% average exit velocity, which is elite kind of stuff. That is some soft contact coming off the bats of his opposition. A 28.3% hard hit percentage. Overall, kind of like what we're seeing out of him. And it's kind of strange to be in one of these spots where you kind of like both sides of it to a certain extent. But the big difference maker for me, the Dodgers, we kind of expected them to be a lot better against right-handed pitching with the number of lefties: Freddie Freeman, Max Muncy, some of their power there, James Outman now at the top of that lineup without Mookie Betts. But pretty strange to me that even against left-handed pitching for the season, they've got a 110 WRC plus. That's pretty solid stuff. A 772 OPS, that's nothing special. 203 average is problematic, but I think they'll start finding some hits here. And when they do find hits, it's usually Muncy hitting it very, very far from the left side of the plate. So there's that against, a left-on-left type situation. Muncy is still going to be in that lineup. So I'm going to be leaning the Dodgers, but more than likely not going to have any play on this game this time around. Again, just upset. I was really excited about this one. Such is life. We continue on our merry way. We're going to Pittsburgh. And how about these Pittsburgh Pirates, friends? Winning a lot of baseball games. And I know it's Colorado. I know it's Cincinnati. But, like, they're starting to put up some form. And I really do like a lot of pieces from this lineup. It's 4-2, top of the 8th right now. So Cincinnati's making a little bit of a run here. Oh, no outs, 2-1. See, these are the fun things to be updating live. F it, we'll do it live. But today's iteration, that being Friday that we're talking about, Mitch Keller playing better baseball than I anticipated. Going up against Graham Ashcroft, who's Ashcraft, I apologize. I wanted it to be Laura Croft. That'd be awesome. Where are my gamers at? You're somewhere. But I actually legitimately like what we're seeing from Graham Ashcraft. The big thing that I've highlighted with him is that through a couple of starts now, that ground ball rate is what's really improved. Now north of 60% through his first couple starts. I like what we're seeing in terms of him avoiding the hard contact. Last season, that was a major issue. And then last year, a 15.3% K rate. He's up around 22.4%, which is not elite by any means. But, I mean, if you're missing bats, that's the number one way to guarantee a ball does not leave a ballpark. It doesn't make contact, you get swinging strikes. So definitely could be a useful part of the old pitching demonstration there for Graham Ashcraft. And Mitch Keller, I will say, pitching a lot better than I anticipated this year. 3.80 ERA. He's now had 4 starts. We have a bit of a sample size for him there. He's gone at least 6 in his last 3. Boston, Houston, St. Louis. It's not like he's played some chump lineups either. So there's that. But there's also this thing called the value, and I think Cincinnati has it. When you start talking about a number like plus 112 here, they're going to be better against right-handed pitching going forward. And I get it. There are a lot of righties that we saw in that lineup today. 6 of them going up against a righty. That was kind of wild. Against Rosie Contreras. Shout out to the guy in my premium Discord who pointed out K rate very high on the Cincinnati side of things up against right-handed pitching, especially over the last week or so. But I don't expect Mitch Keller to be that dude. And plus 112 with this lineup, feel just fine backing it for a small play. Very small play. But plus 112 Cincinnati money line, that's where I'm going in this one. Off to Tampa Bay, where we have an early lock. Oh, you don't say. Well, I do say, because we have Mr. Michael Kopech. Kind of feel bad for. Well, I don't, because he's a divisional rival of my Minnesota Twins, so I don't feel that bad. But Tampa Bay, we have an interesting spot here. The starter going to be Calvin Foucher. He's not going to pitch very far. The highest he's had is 42 pitches. I think he will start getting stretched out. He's slated to pitch. That's what I was getting at. But Calvin Foucher, he's not really the guy that we need to be breaking down the most. It's Cooper Criswell, who they announced as the guy who's getting purchased from AAA Durham. His contract's getting purchased, getting brought up to the show here. And his last appearance, he showed what kind of stuff he could have at this level. Now, he did give up 4 earned, but it was in Cincinnati. We know Great American Small Park, not exactly an ideal place to be making your season debut. He's already pitched this week is the other issue I have. I don't know what that pitch count could be, but he got up to 82 pitches in that Cincinnati game. That was on the 17th. He's going to be pitching on 1 day short rest 4 days ago. So 82 pitches. I doubt he gets up to that allotment, but he has definitely got some strikeout stuff. It looks like he had 7 Ks in that outing. Yet another righty who was shutting down Cincinnati. So maybe there's something to revisit about that last game. But again, small play, feeling good about that one. But I feel pretty good about attacking Michael Kopech. And I feel bad for him because, again, he had some really good stuff. And coming out of the bullpen a couple years ago, he was elite. As a starter, it's just not going to happen for him. A 57.4% hard hit percentage with 17.6 degrees of average launch angle. That is atrocious when you're giving up a 758 expected slugging. You're not missing bats with a sub 20% K rate, and then you're walking a lot of dudes and setting the table. He has a 12.69 expected ERA, and he is facing what is currently the best offense in baseball. I don't know how they're the best offense in baseball. I didn't see that coming. Did you see that coming? I didn't see it coming. I just said always trust the Tampa Bay Rays, that they're going to win 10 more games than you think, and trust this front office, Dodgers in the NL. I think I've said that like 45 times on this program now. My producer, Daryl, he's like, yeah, I've heard that a lot. But Tampa Bay, I think they put up a lot of runs, and I think the White Sox, facing a guy with short rest here in the longer reliever situation, this Tampa Bay long relieving situation isn't exactly super targetable, but I like enough that we have going here with the White Sox side. Of course, if I fired something up, I'd be looking at the Tampa Bay money line in congruence with this, but I'm obsessed with the over here. Absolutely bona fide obsessed. Over 8.5 at standard juice. I get it's Tropicana. We don't expect runs like this, but guess what? It hasn't mattered whatsoever. Both of these guys being righties from the Tampa Bay side, and they're going to be facing the White Sox. But Tampa Bay, number one in baseball against righties themselves, going up against Kopech, a 155 WRC plus an 890 OPS. My God, give me all of that you got in a bag of potato chips. Over 8.5 runs, my favorite play on the entire slate in the third game of the day. So enjoy that one. We got a lot of baseball to talk about still. Well, this one will at least be short and sweet. We head to Philly, where it's Aaron Nola on the mound. He is a massive favorite, as he should be, going up against Noah Davis, who had a decent outing, I would say. Decent outing in his debut. 5 innings. Just found ways to be successful. I don't really find the repertoire to be all that appealing, though. A 268 expected slugging in that outing. Again, just 95 pitches. He's had 127 pitches at the big league level, and now he's facing this Philadelphia lineup that they're pretty good. I know that they haven't looked good today, but it's one day of baseball. I am pretty positive that Aaron Nola should be a massive favorite here. But my biggest issue is that regardless of the amount of talent I think is in that arm, is that it's not like the books don't know it. There's not really a whole lot that I disagree with in their valuation of this game. They should be huge minus 275 favorites. They should be minus 125 on the run line. And that is where, my friends, you kind of run into this situation where just because you think something's going to happen doesn't make it a good bet. So I'm going to be leaning Philly minus 1.5. Do I think they win this baseball game? Yes. Do I think they probably cover this run line? Yes. But expected percentage in terms of how many times they cover this doesn't overcome the juice. And that, my friends, is why we are showing some apprehension here. Philly minus 1.5. Surely they win, but surely this is not a good bet. Let's talk something that is, my guy, Michael Lorenzen. Oh, he is not good. It breaks my heart because he's a really nice guy. Got to meet him at Dodger Stadium last year. He was with the Angels. Used to be an outfielder for Cincinnati. Many people don't know that. I bet a lot of you know that because you're diehard baseball people like me. But Michael Lorenzen, Tyler Wells on the other side here for the Orioles. And it is a lot better to be Tyler Wells in this ballpark. He's a 6'8" dude with a fastball that finds ways of avoiding hard contact. And then, well, you have Detroit. That lineup is so bad. They're just so bad. It hurts my soul. So we're going to actually throw a stolen base parlay into this one. So a lot of people, maybe I didn't explain it the best way that I could, but Starling Marte, until he got hurt, was a really good bet to be stealing a base, swiping a base against Noah Syndergaard the other night. You know, it was a really good bet to steal a base here at the top of this Baltimore Orioles lineup. His name's Cedric Mullins. He's very good at the stealing of bases. He's going to be facing a righty. He always leads off against them in these spots. They've been moving him to like 8 or 9 hole against lefties. But, I mean, this is just a spot where they're going to tee off against Michael Lorenzen, Mountcastle, Hayes, Mateo. If he's in the lineup, he got removed early from the game the other night. They didn't have a game Thursday, so hopefully he's good to go. Ryan O'Hearn, another lefty that they picked up from the Royals. Lots of pieces that I think can get after Lorenzen, but I really do want to highlight that I think the money line's a good play, but I also think you can put Cedric Mullins going up against Lorenzen as a stolen base candidate. He's already got 9 on the year. Him and Jorge Mateo have been running crazy on baseball teams, and Baltimore has something figured out there that I think other teams are going to start copying. I'm just saying, they are really fast. Jorge Mateo's really, really fast. So if he's in that lineup, you can maybe add him to the fray as well. But as it stands right now, give me the guy who's going to see more plate attempts than anybody else, who runs amok and already has 9 of these swipes already. Should be well north of plus 120. Well north of it in order to make this a play. It's not out yet. But Cedric Mullins to steal a base plus the Orioles money line. Like them both. If you can throw them together at certain sites, you want to do that. Single game parlay season. It's a good season to have. But Orioles money line for sure. If you can't get access to stolen base, just fine with that as a parlay piece. Let's talk about a spot that I'm depressed, absolutely depressed, that I am not going to be targeting. Yusei Kikuchi. He's going to get killed from time to time. That's for sure. This lefty Last year, it was Jose Barrios Day, it was Kikuchi Day, and Barrios pitched pretty well against Houston. I think that was a pretty lucky ticket to cash the other night. I was very impressed, but that Houston lineup was complete trash when it came out, and I regretted everything that I had ever done in my entire life. And then he still just... Luis Garcia, welcome back to my fan. Welcome back to the well, I don't even know what I'm trying to say. Who cares? Let's talk about this spot. Kikuchi, 519 expected slugging, 27% K rate, and a sub 5% walk rate. Two of those things are really good. One of them is really bad. The 519 expected slugging, and I don't know. Seemed like there's some righties with some power in this Yankees lineup. Seems like a good ballpark to hit the ball long and far. Judge, LeMahieu, Higashioka if he's in the lineup, Torres, Franchi even left on left. He's turning into a monster for whatever reason. I know Volp's been leading off here quite a bit, and maybe they'll just continue that madness. We'll see. Righty as well. But just saying, a lot of power. But this Toronto side, too, I want to believe in Domingo Germán. I need to believe in Domingo Germán, but I just don't. Maybe it's a scar tissue thing, or maybe it's just that I'm valuing him still less than the rest of the league. And don't get me wrong, he had 11 strikeouts against my Minnesota Twins the other day. Looked impressive in just 78 pitches in 6 1/3 innings. No question about that. Watch that entire game. It was pretty great. But Cleveland, 0 strikeouts. Philly, 8 strikeouts, 4 2/3. Ran into some troubles there. I just think there's enough inconsistency there with Germán. He's never been one of my guys. He came back from injury last year, got completely shelled at times, did find ways to recover towards the end of the year, brought that expected slugging down to 3.78, the actual ERA to 3.61. But this Toronto lineup is no joke, and I don't really want to go out of my way to pick on them. So, yes, of course, I'm going to be leaning the Yankees money line here. I don't like the total, though. I think it's pretty efficient, even though I want to be hitting the over on that. And I think Yankees, as much as I want to be playing that one too, minus 134, just a little bit too much juice going for Germán, a guy that I think is going to have games where he looks incredible, and he's going to have games where he looks like he's in shambles. And against this Toronto lineup, I'm not willing to find out. I'm going to pass on targeting Kikuchi so that I can, back the Marlins. What am I doing with my life? Whatever, it's Braxton Garrett on the mound going up against Zach Plesac, and Braxton Garrett, a lefty that I generally like his stuff for the most part. He isn't ever going to be walking anybody. That is a huge plus in his repertoire. Last season, a 6.4% walk rate, 3.3% so far in the short season this year. However, 5.17 expected ERA, getting a little bit high for me, getting a little freaky. But the one thing that I think you have to look at is that this Cleveland Guardians team just might not be that good at the dish. Now, against lefties this season, just a 20.5% K rate. They're always going to be avoiding strikeouts, but just a 119 ISO and 87 WRC plus against that handedness, that's not really cutting it. And I think you're getting some really nice plus money here to be backing the dog going up against Zach Plesac, who, by the way, is terrible at the pitching of baseballs. And that's unfortunate because it's his job. He's got a 6.92 ERA. He's somehow 1-0 because he just, I don't know, he made a deal with the devil or something. That Oakland game that shot out 12-11, they were down huge. Cleveland made a crazy run at the end of that one. Watch that whole one. That was close to opening. It was like on the 3rd. I don't know why I remember that. 3rd of April? I think that was correct. But either way, then he faced Washington last time out. Everybody's going to look decent against Washington. I hope you can get some W's as a bad pitcher against Washington. So yes, this is another bad lineup. But this Marlins team, they're going to be a lot better against righties. I've said that multiple times on this program, and I believe it to be true despite their 85 WRC plus and 138 ISO, which is actually better than this Cleveland side on the other side against their handedness that they're facing. So, small play on Miami money line. It's gross, it's disgusting, but it's the right thing to do. Always do the right thing. Miami money line, yes. This is also the right thing to do if you're in one of these 4 lovely states: New Jersey, Ohio, Virginia, Colorado. Ooh, why? Well, you get Bet365, and I'm jealous of you. Sign up in the link below, deposit $10 or more, and when you do, you get $1. You just bet $1, and you get $200 in bonus bets. It's a ridiculous deal. Again, deposit $10, bet $1 on anything, and even if it loses, you get $200 in bonus bets. They are literally putting dollars in your account to try out their product. And I'm telling you, we just got functionality added to OddsShopper. Yes, functionality added to OddsShopper for Bet365. So if you have that package, if you guys have Odd Shopper, this is an amazing book to be a part of now because we have our tools and content that can help provide the best lines, help identify the best market-based approach lines for you. You can sign up for Odd Shopper in the video description box below. You can sign up for Bet365 in the video description box below, but only if you're in one of these 4 states: Colorado, New Jersey, Ohio, Virginia. Great stuff. It's only if you're 21 and over, and if you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. And good news, if you're in one of these other states, we are soon going to have a bunch of books that we're going to be identifying for you guys, helping you find the best offers, and those are going to be thrown in the video description box below. So always be looking, always be watching, coming down the pipeline. Going to be really good stuff here at Odd Shopper on Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks. Alrighty, y'all, lots of games to get to. Let's get back to the picks. How about these two in the early going of the season? Houston, Atlanta, really stellar pitching on the mound. Hunter Brown, who I think everybody was excited for in the fantasy baseball community, in the sports betting community. Everybody was all about Hunter Brown and how can we possibly back him? Well, there's another guy on the other side of the mound here who's been really good himself so far in the early going of this year, Bryce Elder. Now, both of these guys, studly righties, both of them finding ways to generate swings and misses when it really matters most. But I will say, it's not what I was expecting out of Bryce Elder, nor should you have expected that out of Bryce Elder. But let's start with Hunter Brown, the road guy. 311 expected slugging, 23.3% K rate, 8.2% walk rate. Everything across the board looks good. But Bryce Elder is giving up some hard contact, 47.9%. And there are some lefties in, I don't know, Kyle Tucker, Jordan Alvarez, who I talk about every time on this program, who are just insanely good. But Bryce Elder, just 23 years old, 5th round pick in 2020, came from nowhere. Hook 'em horns. I know he's a Texas guy, but either way, 4.25 expected ERA last year at the bigs. He's shown some market improvement in the K rate, fewer walks, lower ERA. That's generally what's going to happen when you do those things. So I'm actually leaning on the under of 9. I was checking out the weather, making sure everything looked good. I don't see a reason that this line should be here at 9, but these lineups you got to show a little respect to. So as much as I like it, I think with 15 games, we want to show a little caution here. Under 9, though, definitely projecting out the closest to a like out of any lean on the board tomorrow. Off to Arlington we go for one really good baseball team so far and one really, 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 really bad baseball team so far. I'll let you guess who's who. We got John Gray here for the home team. We have JP Sears for the road team. And a 568 expected slugging here for JP. 19% K rate, not good. He is limiting hard contact, which can be useful. Can also be useful to be pitching in Oakland. And a 3.2% walk rate looks pretty decent too. But Adolis Garcia, Jonah Heim, and of course, Marcus Semien. Have a year, dude. 3 homers in his last 4 games. Just ridiculous stuff. Did think about giving Marcus Semien a special shout out there at the top of that lineup here, just because, I mean, I'm starting to see this hard hit come up, and that was always the question, because he's always been a great contact guy. Just a 14.5% K rate. Had a really brutal last beginning of the season, and 40.6% hard hit percentage. That is starting to get back to the Toronto form that got him this contract. So there you go. Good stuff. And John Gray, I mean, this is pretty clear cut as well, where I think he's a decent enough guy to be backing in this spot. However, the line pretty efficient at -200. Another big favorite that exists on this card, not quite in the realm of an Aaron Nola, but John Gray, really like a lot of the revamping he did coming out of Colorado. I was really excited for him leaving Coors Field. It's been okay for him. A 23.2% K rate this season. Needs to get down on the walks, the expected slugging, giving up some hard contact from time to time. But just like last year, 25.7% K rate. I expect that to be more of the norm. 23.2% here so far. The slider, changeup, everything looks good across the board. I just think he needs to get a larger sample size here. He's an absolute stud, absolute ace going forward here for Texas. And, well, they're going to need it because they need to have other starting pitching. Him, Martin Perez need to really step it up if this Texas team has aspirations in the AL. No doubt about it. So, John Gray avoided injury his last outing. I think it's a decent enough spot to just back him and think that he's good to go, considering he's pitching 6 days later after leaving after 2 innings last game. So, under 8.5 is actually what I'm looking at here, but I don't really like it all that much. It's just simply what my spreadsheet likes the most, and I do like Texas in this game. It's a tough game to really evaluate. I once again think Texas wins. Once again, I think they put up runs, but I don't really want to bet anything in this one. If I do anything, probably going to be a prop or two. Speaking of props, hello, Rappy. I didn't see Scooby-Doo on my bingo card for today, but we have Freddie Peralta, fastball specialist himself, throws like 100% fastballs for the most part. That's a little, I'm exaggerating a little bit, but not really. He throws a lot of fastballs. Like a lot. Also throws a lot of fastballs, but gets them really, really hard hit. Nick Pivetta of the Boston Red Sox. And that's the guy that I think we want to be focused on the most. But first, I should at least say Freddie Peralta's stuff. 32.6% hard hit percentage, 295 xWOBA, but 26% K rate. He is very, very good at the pitching of the baseballs. I expect him to be. I think Milwaukee, just happy to have that dude back, healthy. Stay healthy, young man. And then Nick Pivetta on the other side. We're going to target him with a bat. That's for darn sure. Absolutely love the amount of power that he gives up to both sides of the plate. Yes, you can definitely look at some righty power going up against Nick Pivetta as well. But I think I'm going to be focused on Rowdy Tellez. Big Rowdy Tellez is a unit. And we saw him start to come to life a little bit in that San Diego series. That was pretty exciting to see because I was kind of waiting for it. Kind of came out of the gate stammering a little bit, but 237 average. Doesn't look great, but again, 5 homers now in the early going of the season. There was one guy you were trying to handpick out of a lineup to go up against somebody who gives up tons of power like Nick Pivetta. I think Rowdy Tellez is pretty much near the top there. So is Luke Voigt if he's going to end up in the lineup. I'm sure one of them will be DHing. So there you go. I just like Rowdy Tellez as long as we get north of plus 300. Seriously, and we should get north of plus 300. If it's inside plus 300, I quit. Actually, I won't. I'll definitely be back after the weekend. Eitan's with you on the weekend. I really have nothing else to add here. Rowdy Tellez just hits the ball hard, far, long. 43.2% hard hit percentage, 463 expected slugging. And yeah, he's probably going to strike out once, but I'm going to do this. I'm going to call a strikeout, followed by a home run for Rowdy Tellez. There you go. If that happens, clip this, put it all over. But yeah, I'm definitely going to bet Rowdy Tellez to hit a homer here. Just like I'm definitely going to be betting this game too. We have my Minnesota Twins hosting the Washington Nationals. Tyler Mahle on the mound for Minnesota. Trevor Williams. See, the bit doesn't work on both sides of that one, but you should probably know by now. Trevor Williams, whether it was with Pittsburgh, the Mets. He's just not good. There's never been a point in time where he's been good. Kind of a bummer. I thought he might have been okay coming up. Had some regard for him, but 14.1% K rate, sub 30% hard hit percentage. The only thing I'm looking at that's been good so far this year, but he is not ran into lefty power like that of Joey Gallo. And yes, Max Kepler now back at the top of the lineup against righties. That was exciting for me to see. We're starting to get healthier, starting to put the pieces together. Correa, Kepler, if you can get there. Joey Gallo just murdering the crap out of baseballs. I just want to be targeting Trevor Williams every opportunity that I get. And I get it. Last year, pretty serviceable. 3.67 expected ERA. Had some outings that looked all right from time to time. Got the K rate for a career high 22.6%, but it's plummeted. And that's generally what happens when you go from like serviceable teams like the Mets that are going to help you with certain things. And then you've got Washington. Shouldn't matter, but it does matter. Different catchers, losing attitude. I don't know. That's not good pieces of analysis. I just love my Minnesota lineup here, setting up against right-handed, pitching like Trevor Williams, who just throws a low 90s fastball and doesn't even really throw it all that effectively. And on the other side, my guy, Trevor Mahle. Really good stuff that we've had from him at the beginning of this season with a 289 xWOBA, 27.7% K rate. The hard hit gets there a little bit, but my God, this Washington lineup is abysmal. In fact, outside of Stone Garrett, Riley Adams, Joey Meneses, it's like nothing. CJ Abrams is starting to show a little bit of pop, but like he's just still terrible. That trade's not going to look good in hindsight. Juan Soto's pretty good. Maybe just pay him, Washington. Pay some people. There's no salary cap, just pay them. But whatever. It's going to be good for us because Minnesota is somehow plus 105 here on the run line. So we were running into Aaron Nola, the John Gray, all of them being minus 125 or greater on the run line. We're going to back the Minnesota Twins lineup here and Tyler Mahle for an absolute murdering here on opening day. Note, there is some weather forecasted for Minneapolis, so be paying attention to that in Target Field. But my family gets there healthy. Everybody can go hang out, watch baseball. It's going to be great stuff. So, -1.5, Minnesota Twins. Lock button, baby. We make our escape to Manscaped, friends. Yes, if you saw the program yesterday, you know that we got Manscaped in the mix. But if you're checking this out for the first time, let me just tell you, they've got the right tools for the job. The Lawnmower 4.0 for groin, body grooming. It is incredible. No nicks, no issues that you have with that. I have my own. It is fantastic, or I would not be talking about it on this program. The Beard Hedger. Now, I don't have a beard, but if you have a lovely beard, I've still used it. I've still used it for the putting it on the short setting, being able to get all of the close spots that I want to get there. They have 10 different settings that you can set it on, every single beard length covered. And then the Weed Whacker 2.0. These are all the things that go into the best in men's grooming. Yes, go get yourself this incredible special offer right now, the Premium Performance Package 4.0 or the Platinum Package, where you can also get a beard shampoo, you can get the ball deodorant, the beard conditioner, so many great additions to the Manscaped line. So check them out. And when you use promo code Stokastic, which is on the screen there, STOKASTIC, look at that. I can read and spell. That's incredible stuff. You get 20% off right now with our friends at Manscaped. Sign up in the link below. Great stuff. So, you want to save your balls? Here you go. That's how you do it, baby. All right. Whew. We're going to get those. These are going to be really, really fun. I just want to throw that out there. Manscaped. Check them out, my friends. Back to the picks. I want to bet this so bad, but the books just are not letting us. Shohei Ohtani on the mound. He had a rain-shortened outing last time in Boston. Still got that lock across the board somehow, some way. With the Angels bullpen, you don't know a sweat until Shohei Ohtani comes out after 2 innings and it's raining, and you know that you have 7 more innings just waiting for you down the gauntlet against Boston. But still got done, so there we go. This time around, Kansas City probably not going to be so lucky. Looks like the forecast is perfect in Anaheim. So there you go. Kansas City on the other side. They're going to be going to a opener situation themselves. Taylor Clark going for an inning or two here to go. 36 pitches, his highest of the season. But then he's turning it over to Ryan Yarbrough, who used to be a Tampa Bay Ray, used to be a couple of different places, but he is abysmal. He's a lefty. That's really bad. You don't want to be a lefty facing this Angels team. 3rd in WRC plus, 151 WRC plus this season, only striking out 21.1% of the time with a 195 ISO and an 883 OPS. My God, Hunter Renfroe, Taylor Ward, Mike Trout, 3 righties, and then that Shohei Ohtani guy, pretty good. Anthony Rendon in the mix there as a righty. Lots of guys at the top of this Angels lineup that are going to create havoc for lefties. So I think they want to avoid that top of the lineup the first time through, have Yarbrough start against like the 5-6 guy, and then try to ride some momentum and get some innings there, because otherwise they're just going to get murdered. And that's because Shohei Ohtani is just incredible. Sub-1 ERA, the best player in baseball. I really have no words, but also -135 on the run line. Just sucks. Biggest favorite on the board, -285. Higher than Nola. Fine, I'm going to take an over. Have Angels score 10? Well, I mean, they definitely could. I just hate it. I hate it here. Hunter Renfroe to hit a home run. Probably my favorite play, if I'm going to be honest. Got to see the odds on that. It's like the books almost know he's good against lefties. Just saying. Angels -1.5. It's a lean. It sucks. I want to play Ohtani. Make me a bicycle clown. All right, that's all we got from this one. Next game. Disclaimer, I just took a bit from the NBA Lindies into the MLB Lindies from yesterday. But anyway, it doesn't matter. Hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell, and be sure to check out MLB, NBA Lindies every weekday throughout the NBA playoffs. And then, obviously, the MLB season, which is going to be, another 142 weeks. So that's going to be great stuff. Producer Daryl, let's go, my dude. It's going to be fun. This is pretty fun, actually. San Diego and Arizona teeing off in this one, and I do mean teeing off, I hope. We'll find out. Seth Lugo on the mound. Well, I mean, I hope the pitchers are teeing off is what I'm getting at. Seth Lugo, Zach Gallen on the other side of this one. And Lugo, how about some of the nice things that we've seen out of him so far this year? The guy is starting to show out. He's been in the league for a long time. And this is the best version of him we've seen since about 2019, where he was ridiculous over the course of that season. 2.43 expected ERA, which is actually worse than his 2.70 ERA. But then he ran into some trouble here the last couple of years. And part of that is that the curveball being his primary pitch, if that thing is not avoiding the ground, well, it's getting hit. And that's a problem. Even this year, 407 expected slugging on that primary pitch, 520 expected slugging on the four-seamer. But I think this sinker that he's started to throw into the mix from last year is going to be a decent pitch going forward. And so far, he's gotten no whiffs. 5.3% whiff percentage is just abysmal, but he's primarily getting that to righties, and it's really not affecting him all that much. A 184 expected batting average and a 281 expected slugging. So even though it's not missing the plate, it's getting the ball on the ground, helping him when you combine that slider as his other pitch to really get people to chase pitches that you probably shouldn't be putting into play. He's really not getting affected by it. So I do like some of the things we're seeing from Seth Lugo early, kind of some ancillary analysis, but it is what it is. He's just back to doing his thing. And Zach Gallen, you probably know by now that I'm just going to be a stand for this guy all season long. A 29.5% K rate, a walk rate that just has never been there. I mean, it was his first season when he was 23 years old, 10.8% walk rate, but it's gotten better almost every single year since then, down to 5.3% this season. Last year, 6.6%, a 3.17 expected ERA with a 2.54 ERA in 2022. And this year, just right back at it. It would be a career best 2.73 expected ERA. It's really, really good on that side of the coin. And I get it. San Diego, they just got Fernando Tatis and is over 250 WRC plus he had in the minors, was hitting over 500 in 8 games. It's just ridiculous. I get you have a lot of lefties in that lineup too. Jake Cronenworth. You got Juan Soto. You got Trent Grisham murdering baseballs. Matt Carpenter, who's a righty specialist. Well, left-handed batter righty specialist. You know what I mean. But I don't care. The under here looks really nice. We're going to like it. We're not going to lock it. We're not going to lean it either. We're going to like it. Under 9, my favorite like play out of anything on the board for tomorrow. Take that for what you will. Pretty quick one we have here. St. Louis, Seattle. It's kind of like whatever. George Kirby, Steven Matz. George Kirby, I know a lot of people have a you-know-what for him. It rhymes with schmard. I think I can say that. Whatever, I have Manscaped now on the ads. I mean, I'm going to be loud and boisterous. It's going to be great. But George Kirby, just a 17.1% K rate, basically a nothing walk rate. That was what he did very, very well last year. But considering he was a top 20 pick out of Elon, shout out Greg Ehrenberg, that was his alma mater. 2019, when he came out of school there, he was expected to be it. And I don't really see it. The four-seamer sits mid-90s. The slider's an okay pitch. He had a 24.5% K rate last year, but down to 17.1% so far this season. I think just avoiding barrels and avoiding walks are going to be his main paths to being a very serviceable pitcher. I don't think he's going to be anything crazy special there. Shout out my dog. Hi, Duke. And then the St. Louis side of this one, Steven Matz, lefty on the mound. Just another pitcher that I'm not all that enthused about. So far, it's been rough for him, but he does get a date with this Seattle team that has shown some struggles in the early portions of this season and really shown struggles against left-handed pitching, which is weird with Julio Rodriguez, Ty France at the top of this lineup, but a 25.3% K rate, a 76 WRC plus. These are really, really bad numbers and not what you would expect from a team that was expected to compete for a World Series. And then this ballpark is a little bit of a cavern. So St. Louis money line is actually where I'm looking at based on those numbers. Give me the plus money dog, but I haven't put it on the card here yet because I do think Steven Matz has his sports and, well, damn it, this needs to be on the card. I'm probably going to be adding this to the card tomorrow. St. Louis, there you go. That's the money line. Good stuff. And the last play of the day here, we're heading to San Francisco to round it all out. Really need to go watch Senga Genesis pitch tonight. I need to get out of here. And there's a lot of basketball to watch. But we got Lucchesi, baby. Joey Lucchesi. You seen him in a second? I haven't seen him in a second, but pretty excited about what he's done so far in AAA. 2.30 ERA, 1.18 whip. Struck out a couple dudes. Looks pretty good. Looks legitimately decent here right now. So shout out Joey Lucchesi for being back in our lives. Haven't seen him for a bit. And then Anthony Desclafani off to a phenomenal start in the early goings of this season. The ground ball rate through the roof. 10 and 13 ground balls in 2 of his first 3 outings. Gone 6 in every single one. But White Sox, Royals, Tigers. I hope you would succeed against the White Sox, the Royals, and the Tigers. But I hope he succeeds here because the under of 9 is what I'm projecting out here pretty decently. This Giants team is not very good. Can we just throw that out there? And I think Lucchesi from the left side, again, he has the handedness that I want to be targeting this team with all season long. Lefties against San Francisco are going to be a thing. They have just a 66 WRC plus in 226 plate attempts this year. They have a 29.2% K rate. That's abysmal. So, yeah, the Mets, decent lineup. They got some guys who can punch people, but Desclafani's been decent. How is this number 9? Only reason I'm not locking it is because I have enough locks today. But this is a phenomenal play. Under 9 runs. Let's get ourselves out of here. Happy weekend, folks. And that does it for another edition of Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks. You know what to do. Go to that comment section below. Let me know your favorite plays for Friday. Really looking forward to this 15-gamer. Looking forward to you guys checking out Bet365. We got Manscaped. Ironic that I pointed down there for that one. So many great offerings here at Lindy's. Let me help you. Help me help you. Help me help you. I can work on my Jerry Maguire. It needs some work, but I can't wait to see you guys on Monday. It's going to be great stuff. We'll be back in action. You got Aton for the weekend. Give him some love. Hit his like button on all the things. And then, just spam Anthony Edwards in his chat. He'll have no idea. Well, actually, no, he'll know exactly what we're talking about. We smashed that the other night. So without further ado, I should just leave here now. I'm Eric Lindquist. Best of luck in the MLB streets on Friday.